Hey everyone, my name is Rooster and welcome back to Mechabellum. In today's video, I'll have a bunch of fun elements. I'll be playing my favorite spec, the Elite Specialist, which I know some of you can struggle with, so hopefully I can kind of show you how I like to play it. And we'll be up against Prince Bodgy, also known as AFK Woot on Twitch. And I mean, he has a very, very aggressive playstyle, likes to switch sides a lot, and you have to be very attentive to be able to counter what he's doing. So I think this game should also show you kind of what you can do against these type of aggressive players. Now, Woot here will start with the Sabertooth and Crawler opener. He's a quick supply specialist, one of the stronger specialists in the game at the moment, I'd say. Kind of always able to get an early lead because of those bonus resources. Looks like he's not going to use them just yet though, and yeah, he was testing the new Void Eyes quite a bit, so don't be too surprised if you see more of those. And he decides to pick them up here on round 1 with a Saber opener. Rather unusual, I'd say. Typically, you should be buying kind of the one role that you don't have yet. So he started with Chaff, he started with DPS, and then of course he would normally add Chaff Clear, but he goes for Void Eyes here. So rather experimental, wouldn't necessarily recommend that you do this. You should probably go for something like Arclight, but we'll have to see how he decides to play this. Now, I decided to go for Double Marksman, which, well, is exactly what I said you should do, right? I start with Chaff Clear. In the spiders, I start with Chaff. And that means that I'm lacking DPS, so I go for the Double Marksman. And, I mean, this is the nice thing about Elite. Being able to start with level 2 Marksman on round 1 makes a massive difference DPS-wise. You can now one-shot Sledgehammers. You can now one-shot Arclights. That makes, yeah, a world of difference in these early games. It's also a lot easier to kill these sabers if you manage to lock on than if you had, let's say, level 1 marksman. Now, I am on the right side of the board. I will have one crawler kind of screening the left side here because I know Woot, and he is known for always playing on the right side of the board. So that's why you will see me do this. Now, my spider, sadly, here gets locked on. Right side, the timing was just right, but yeah, left side, not so lucky. Good thing for me is my marksman did manage to lock onto the sabers as well, and as you can see, big DPS here, able to take them out rather swiftly. Right side, I still have a tarantula. Lucky for me, if I didn't have that, I think I would have lost to the crawlers, but yeah, we do manage to take round 1 here, kind of adhering to the basics, right, of round 1 and making sure that you have all of your roles covered. Round number 2, and there is Improved Phoenix offered. A very good card, but on Elite, hard to get into, and I already had Marksman, so didn't really feel like picking this because I wouldn't be able to buy one this turn, and it would just kind of signal to my opponent what I wanted to do. Yeah, I didn't want to lose any money. I know this is a high-tempo game, so I'm trying to use like my money kind of in a clever manner here to try and stay ahead, because right now we are in a good spot. Round number 2, and we get more Void Eyes here from Woot. Rather unusual board, I would say, kind of using them as front line, and he is running things like Energy Shield, goes for that free tech, the Energy Absorption, which a lot of people have been clicking now on round 1. And okay, moving on to the left side of the board. Now, I decided to level my tower. I go for a crawler here in the front to fix this Sabertooth insta-lock. And then I also go for a hound on the flank. I pick up quick TP, which is why my hounds spawn in so quick. And yeah, whenever your opponent has like crawlers vertically behind the tower, like so, and has them especially like on the line against the flank, it means they won't be able to put anything in front of there. And so, yeah, the hounds here should just do well. Pull 2 crawlers, and that means he just doesn't have all that much chaff to protect his units in the mid-game, or the mid-round. Right side, or left side, being attacked by the Void Eyes here. They will eventually take my tower down, but yeah, they shouldn't be able to win this. I still have 2 tarantulas on full health, practically, the marksman, some chaff. We are in a very good spot here, and being ahead as Elite early is often going to be the key to success, right? This specialist gets stronger and stronger as the game goes on because you get free access to those level 2 units. The downside is that's expensive early on and you don't have that much money, so getting through the early games using your money wisely is kind of the key. But so far, so good. Round number 3, we get unit reinforcements. I decide to pick up the 2 Wasp packs because they're very, very good flank defense, and I think this is one of my favorite ways to play the game at the moment. If you're playing aggressive or if you're defending kind of in front of the towers, Wasps are so good at dealing with flanks. They really are. They basically lose to nothing for their cost, and it's a great way to just kind of screen the flank. They're fast. They can then kind of arrive. It forces your opponent to do something, often get into Mustang, which sometimes they might not want to. It's it's a very nice drop and a nice way to defend your flank. Now, I decided to make more use out of my quick TP here. I was expecting him to go for Wasps as well to defend the flank. He didn't. But I thought, well, if I add the Wasps here, I at least have a chance of beating his Wasps if he were to put them over there. But he doesn't do so. Instead, he goes for the Vulcan from the drop and tries to use oil as well. Relatively expensive turn, I will say. There's only 3 crawler packs here. They will die. My marksman probably will burn as well. But yeah, relatively expensive. He goes for a Wraith on the left side. Now, that will probably be able to take that. Oh, okay. I forgot about this. I was about to say this will probably beat my Wasp because they're untech'd. But I go for anti-air ammunition here first. And the reason for that is because my opponent was running aerial mode, and I thought it would be very, very likely for him to get more air units, right? Either to click aerial spec, either to pick the Wasps. Just all of his plays that made sense to me for him to get back some tempo involved air units. And so that's why I just preemptively go for the anti-air here. And I have to say, even this turn, though he didn't do what I expected him to do, he did buy that Wraith, and we managed to take it down. And because we managed to take it down, my Wasps are now surviving, and I actually win the round where he goes for a crazy tempo play, right? Investing in that oil, taking a Vulcan, which like he might not want going forward. And that's fantastic. I keep up the pressure, and I now get to see what he wants to do. Round number 4, we get... yeah, a bunch of good items there. A barrier was offered as well, I think, but I think he might want to sell this. Never mind. Picks up the improved firepower, which is also a great item and can always be transferred onto something like a Wraith. Puts it on the Vulcan for now, though. Wants to keep that. And now he's investing more into Wraith. Now, having seen the Wraith, I really expected him to do something like this, where he puts the Wraith on the flank, because if I look at this flank, the one unit that would beat it easily is a Wraith, and he already had unlocked it. So it made perfect sense to me that this was coming, which is why I'm selling out of my Wasp now, and kind of trying to make sure that he doesn't get crazy amounts of value, right? Ideally here, I just start selling out of the flank. Maybe I keep the Hound to kill some crawlers, and then he has put a Wraith kind of in an awkward spot where it's completely like out of position. Left side, we get more Wraith, and they are level 2. I do decide to click range on my Tarantulas. The blue Tarantula gets the improved firepower control system, which should help against the Wraith if it starts attacking it. And then I also add a marksman to the left, because I was a little bit afraid that he might add something big on the left. And yeah, you can see here insta-locks happening. That Tarantula with the AA dealing big damage. And this is looking like a fantastic round so far. And now that I see the double blue Wraith investment, I know that it's safe for me to click anti-air, right? He's not going to be able to sell out of all this. He's already invested way too much. He's even loaning here on round 4 to make this possible, and yet he is going to lose. And so that will already put him down to 1100 hit points as we enter the mid game on round 5. Round number 5, we get intensive training here. Probably, is it worth a pickup? I mean, I am a lead spec, so maybe it's not the best. It's relatively cheap, but no idea if I can make good use of it. I could pick it and just level this one Tarantula with the item, since it is kind of carrying. It is close to leveling, which always feels a bit bad if you're just using it for like 200 something experience. Could take the advanced defensive tactics as well. I don't pick it very often, but this time around I will actually pick it. Reason for this is because I'm relying on like slightly lower DPS units, like the Tarantula, which is at heart a chaff clear unit. So giving that more damage is going to be really beneficial because it shoots fast and it has inherent high explosive. So that should help. And then marksmen, of course, once they start getting levels and getting aerial specialization, they deal a whole lot more damage, but they can sometimes struggle too. So giving them that extra bonus should be nice. Now, Spider here, it is doing okay. Opponent goes for range on the Wraith, and you can see now that we are kind of lacking chaff clear on the left. And that's because I went range and AA first. Normally, you would want to have high explosive as a second tech because of, well, exactly what you just saw. It makes Tarantula much, much better at chaff clearing when it has access to that 12 meters of splash. And so that was the next thing that I was looking to get. Marksman here will lock on. Do we get debuffed? Oh, we do. That is not good at all. And then Marksman goes down. The Wraith survives, both of them, on a sliver of hit points. And yeah, Bodgy not quite going down just yet. Didn't even have to loan, so he's recovering from that round 4 play. And now round number 6, there isn't another advanced defensive tactics. I was streaming, as I always am, when I'm playing these games. And so, well, we had to pick the second advanced defensive tactics for the memes, of course. So now we have a bonus of 60%. I still haven't clicked the attack enhancement 1 or 2, which I probably should be doing. But yeah, these tarantulas are quite amped up right now. The normal one's dealing 1700 damage per shot. This one on the left, 2500, and it has a level, so this will go up by even more. And now I'm just going to be buying more tarantulas and marksmen for now. Again, I do want to get the high explosive, but it is awfully expensive at 700, and don't quite have the resources for that on round 6 without skipping deployments. And so right now I'm thinking, if I just add more spiders, then that'll kind of make up for the lack of chaff clear, and then eventually I'll be able to click high explosive and get the benefit from it. I'm also relatively healthy still, so going for these type of plays, even if I lose the round, shouldn't be detrimental, and it will give me a better setup down the line. Opponent now goes for wasps with shield, which I was a bit surprised by, because my tarantulas already have AA on the bar. So they will be able to kill them. Of course, right now, I only have 5 meters of splash, which is not a lot, considering arc lights have 7. But I was planning to click high explosive anyway, so now he's given me another reason to click it. Now, left side does collapse like it did last round. Marksman, sadly, going kind of the wrong direction. Okay, one of them is locking onto the correct unit, but Tower will go down, the marksman will fall, and so again here, the Wraith will be surviving alongside some of those shielded wasps and the Void Eyes. I've got lots and lots of crawlers, but they will go down as well. And so here we are. I did use the oil, by the way, to kind of try and slow down the crawlers and give my army a little bit more time, but didn't seem like it was enough on that given round. Now we enter round 7 as we get the second batch of unit reinforcements. Farseer here is available. It seems like the only pickable thing. I don't need arc lights. I already have chaff clear. Just need to click high explosive. And the other things that were offered really didn't do too much, right? Going Stormcaller into a board of air units doesn't make too much sense to me, so here we are. And we do have enough money now on round 7 to finally get that third tech on the tarantulas, and so we give them high explosive, and that should help tremendously, not just with the wasps, which are now given jump drive to go on back onto the right side, as Woot also picked up a deployment module earlier on. So this is a very, very Woot thing to do. Kind of play around the unit drops, and then if you get a high amount of deployments or a very high level unit, you can switch your army with the help of these type of techs, like jump drive, and items like deployment module or spells like redeployment. And so it's always a bit of a guessing game as to where he's going to be. I do like to have at least a bit of an army on both sides, and I mean, when he's abandoning one side, typically you should be able to win that, and then you can kind of fight his army as he as he gets into the middle of the board after beating your right side. Whether he'll be able to beat my right side, though, we have to see. He goes Farseer as well, clicks the EMP, which could be very powerful, considering my spiders have 3 techs, so if they get rid of all 3, then they will definitely be a lot weaker. For now, it seems like my chaff is doing a decent job, but yeah, here you can see Spider getting locked on, getting EMP'd. Marksman, though, will lock onto that Wraith. Will it be able to take it down? Not quite. Fires one final shot, but isn't quite enough. My entire left side army did get pulled, didn't go towards that left side tower, but is now getting slowed inside of the oil. And I think with the Marksman still alive, and of course I went Farseer EMP as well, we should be able to win this. It is currently a Farseer on Farseer fight. Pretty close from the looks of things. But I do believe that we have slightly more mechs still alive. And yeah, with the Marksman there, the DPS coming through, we should be fine. Keep in mind, again, I do have that double advanced defensive tactics. And I do have the first attack buff as well. So these units are dealing way more damage than they would normally. Incendiary Bomb now being picked up on round number 8. I was expecting this, considering that he went for the oil. And yeah, he has 2 plays here, right? He can try to move back to the left side and set this on fire, or he can use the fire on the left side here and try to attack the right side. Goes for a level 2 War Factory on round 8. Very scary. Great play. My board is higher DPS than normal, but still, it's Spiders and Marksmen, which aren't exactly meant to take down a level 2 Titan like this one. So a little bit scary. I am still relatively high on hit points, so even though I expect that we lose here, we should be fine. I certainly wasn't expecting this, so I won't be buying a Melter preemptively here. Goes for the Missile Interceptor. That was surprising to me. I guess it's good into the Farseer, but I don't think the Farseer were doing all that much. If you look at the damage, like it's, you know, 10k, 20k at most. Might have been better to go for something like Overload or Photon Coating if he was afraid of the EMP. I decided to go for a Wasp Drop in the back because this tower is still pretty open, and my Wasps, again, will have a lot more damage than regular Wasps because of those cards, so I feel like this should be able to go down relatively quickly. I also add another Crawler here on the middle of the right flank. Reasons for that is because I wanted this Farseer to get distracted a little bit so that it didn't like instantly lock onto one of my Tarantulas. Right side doing what it can. Wasps are locked onto the tower. We will get a debuff. Does it do very much? I am not so sure. We are locking onto some Wraith here, but that factory still looks awfully healthy, as the Wraith even survives again on the sliver of hit points. That has happened a couple of times this game. But yeah, factory still on like 80-85% hit points. And doesn't look like the remainder of my army will be able to deal with that. I get debuffed. And now the factory moves in and starts DPSing down all of those mid-sized units. So we do take a significant amount of damage, but we had enough to at least survive, and so now I can react and try to get rid of the factory. Round number 9, more unit reinforcements. We get Rhino, Typhoon, Saber, and Phantom Ray. Now, looking at this, I was thinking about, like, Phantom Ray is fine, but it probably doesn't do too well into Farseer, so that wouldn't make very much sense. Typhoon I don't need, I already have Chaff Clear. And Sabers are okay, but they're not going to be able to take down a level 2 factory. And, well, speaking of level 2 factory, it gets sold. And then I don't know if it'll get repurchased. Opponent goes for Typhoons. And I decide to go for a Rhino. I sell one of my Rhinos. And I put one here on the top flank. Keep in mind, I still have quick teleport. So pressuring the towers is definitely something that I can do. And then I decide, as my response to the level 2 factory, I will just buy a level 3 factory, because I am elite spec, and this is something that I can do. Click the elite recruit button and, well, recruit a level 3 Titan. I wasn't running my battle techs, which, yeah, if you saw my previous video, I was running some spawn techs, so no overload here, which I was a little bit sad about, but hey, probably I can make up for the lack of battle techs with the level. At least I was hoping. Now the factory does get repositioned, or rather repurchased, so now it's on the left side of the board. Typhoons are given barrier, wasps are also spawned here or moved to the left side of the board, and well, sadly that rhino won't be going anywhere as the factory has now been given range and easily takes care of that before it can spawn in. Right side should be winning, of course. Marksman locked onto that big wraith. Getting rid of that, quite important, I would say. I still have some chaff left here. Left side will go down, but hopefully my factory can do something. Most of the units will get pulled towards the factory, but now there's one wasp trying to go to my tower. Hopefully we can take that down. We can avoid a debuff. I think that would bode very well for us. And now let's see. How does this battle unfold? We do get debuffed, but it's not the worst. Factory not quite able to lock on to mine there. We'll eventually do so. We get a debuff as well. And, well, we trade factories as the attack bonuses here actually took the second tower enhancement as well. So we're now looking at 96% bonus attack on all my units. And yeah, that is enough for that factory to trade against his, despite having no range. Round number 10, and EMP shows up. Both of us will pick it. Very cheap spell. And I think, well, I probably have to move my factory as well here. Opponent has the intensive training, so he sells his factory, rebuys it at level 2, makes it into a level 3 with the intensive, and then also clicks launcher overload, which I don't run. I only have access to range. But my thought process here is he will probably try an EMP, so I have to sell it just because of that, but also my factory is on the line, so I should move it elsewhere where it can't get insta-locked. That is what we're going to be doing. EMP I decided to throw onto the Typhoons. And because I sell my factory, you will actually see that my Rhino is still on the flank, because I was planning to sell it since it was dealt with. But yeah, I had to reposition my factory. So this is just going to be staying there. And we rebuy the factory at level 3. We give it the range because that is the tech that I do have. And we just try to keep it safe so that it can DPS here for as long as possible and get rid, hopefully, of the enemy factory. Right side tower is level 3. And so here we go. And as you will see, my Rhino was not dealt with, because a lot of people would expect this to get sold, right? It got absolutely blasted last turn, and to be fair, I wanted to sell it, but I had to reposition my factory. And so now we have a Rhino running into that tower, which is level 2, and we just get 7 seconds of debuff for free. And because of those 7 seconds of debuff, you can see taking down that factory, not a problem whatsoever. And that should just be game. We only needed 14 hit points of damage, and we will go well over that to secure the dub in round number 10. This was quite a fun one. Honestly, I was surprised that it was this close, because I think early on, I was really far ahead, right? Opponent not going chaff clear early, having to loan on round 4. We went for AA, I think, on the spiders, which was a nice play, and eventually kind of countered most of the board. But yeah, he was able to regain some massive tempo with the use of those wraith that were very high level, and of course that factory, which, well, kind of cost me a lot of hit points in the end. But a fun one, and I think we made good use of our quick TP, and also those advanced defensive tactics cards, which I normally don't pick because I think they're a bit too expensive, but they definitely worked out with this composition. Anyway, if you liked this video, please leave a thumbs up. Let me know down below what you think of this. Do you like this type of playstyle, moving left or right? If you faced something like this, let me know. If you want to stay up to date on latest content, please consider subscribing. And if you want to see me play live, check me out on Twitch. And with that being said, take care, guys, and see you in the next video. Bye-bye.